share your screen for everybody.
Okay.
So you'll have the ability to show what's on your screen.
Okay.
And make host. Okay, you are now the host. So down at the bottom of your screen, you're going to have a lighted up green spot, and just click on, when your video is ready, just click on share screen, and it'll pop up another screen, and wherever your video is at, go for it.
All right, just open this.
And for those that haven't met Tony yet, he was at our Vegas rally, and I've got one of his air compressors. If you saw online where he put his flyer up, I posted some of the pictures of the air compressor that I got from him, the Via Air 400, and I mounted it inside of our truck toolbox. And I got to use it the other day. It aired up a car tire from nothing to all the way in about 30 seconds. That thing was quick.
Yeah, I have to say, I thought it was really cool how you had it installed into the toolbox.
It works great. I just hit a button, I can reach it, 60 foot of hose. I don't have to deal with lighters anymore and stand there for an hour. You know.
Right, for sure. And then you had that cool hose, that cutout that came out of your toolbox where you could just run your hoses through.
Yeah, works great.
Yeah, I like it. So can everybody see my screen? Perfect. What do we got? We got 4 of us here? 4 couples?
Let's see. I'm showing a little over 20 people here. And that's
awesome. I'm only seeing 3 of us, so that means there's more out there. Okay, well, that's awesome. Well, here we're looking at the Tire Minder TPMS systems as well as our Via Air portable air compressors. Again, I'm Tony Peterson. And I'm going to have to talk to my wife for a second because my thing is not, there we go. I'm Tony Peterson. My wife is Amy Peterson. She's walking around. She's hiding. She's scared of the camera. She was with us in Vegas too. She's a huge part of what's helping to make us successful as a company and traveling RVers to make this possible. We have a 45-foot Road Warrior. I know it's not a grand design, but we were new when we bought it, so that doesn't mean that the next one won't be a grand design. We get to see all these new toys and stuff of everybody else's, and we get to move on. What was that, Barb or Bob and Chris?
No, we were just commenting that you're in Mesquite. We live in North Las Vegas.
Oh, perfect. Yep, we're in Mesquite, Nevada, so it's nice and warm where you're at as well then.
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Oh, you call that warm?
Okay, so it's blasted hot. So anyway, we started Outdoor Adventure Products. We pulled a big, huge fifth wheel like Jeret's back there, and we just got on some cool RV forums to find out what we needed to do when we went long hauling, and they said we needed a tire pressure monitoring system, as well as we needed a GPS system that gave us our heights, our weights, and our lengths so that we knew when to get off at an exit if it was right or wrong for us because our bridges were going to be too low. So we went to Camping World, purchased us a tire pressure monitoring system. Just so happens that it was the tire pressure monitoring system of Tire Minder. We got a GPS unit where we were about 50-50 that day because we've loved our tire pressure monitoring system, and I literally have thrown away my GPS unit because it had a mind of its own. Didn't need it anymore. So we're back to looking for a new one of those, but we still continue to use the same tire pressure monitoring system, which is the Tire Minder, the best in tire pressure monitoring system. I'm not just saying that because we promote their product, but like I said, we use it constantly. We use it up and down, north, south, east, west of the country, and it's saved ourselves multiple times and thousands of dollars of repairs that we've all seen. And this won't make mean as much to most of us because we don't have motorhomes, but this is one big reason why you would need a tire pressure monitoring system when you're driving down the road having a great day. Boom, all of a sudden 2 seconds later the day has completely changed. Your life could completely change all over just some simple thing, being able to monitor your tire pressure or the temperature in it to see if there's something else going wrong with the inside of your tire the dually, the drive tires, whatever. I personally, this system right here, this is my personal tire. This right here is my very first experience with Tire Minder. We were in Illinois and we hit a railroad track and it shoved our tires so far up that it hit the shackle that holds the leaf springs. And it didn't completely pop the tire. It took out that first multiple layers of that tire and we had the thinnest layer in there. Well, at that point it started losing air. So my tire pressure monitoring system screamed at me, and we were in Illinois and there was nowhere to pull over. You had to find an actual pullover spot to get off the road. So luckily we made it there without the tire blowing up. Here's me. It was Sunday. The best thing was it was a completely dead town. So it wasn't good because it was dead, but it was good because I actually had a place that I could pull into. So I pulled out my air compressor. We actually stopped on the side of the road at the pull-off system and we couldn't figure out what was wrong. We continued to drive and the alarm went off again. So as we got off the road, my mom was with us and she was on the other side of the trailer and she looked across and all of a sudden I heard this, "Oh my goodness." And that's when we seen the little gash in the tire. It didn't pop it, but it did almost that. So, and I actually took this picture before I ever had any plans of being a Tire Minder rep or anything else. So this is my first experience with the tire pressure monitoring system on my trailer, and I can tell you it saved me a lot of plastic and aluminum and wiring repairs. This is what could have possibly happened had I not fixed it. We got aluminum repairs, we have plastic repairs, we have wires that it can rip out. Just nothing good comes out of a blown out tire. And YT tire pressure monitoring systems, it obviously helps greatly reduce the chances of blowing out your tire. It's not going to 100% prevent a blowout. Some of us have bought a trailer from somebody else. You don't exactly know how old your tires are. There are times that you can just blow out a tire because it's worn. It's not going to prevent something from happening that's going to happen. But as soon as it does happen, you will know, so you can get off the side of the road and you don't have to wait for somebody behind you to do this thing to you. Look back and you're like, what are they pointing at? And you look back and you see these shards of tire flying everywhere. By then you've done a few $1,000s worth of damage. What to look for in a tire pressure monitoring system is multiple alerts. We have high temperature alerts. We have low pressure alerts. We have rapid pressure loss alerts. So being able to get alerts for multiple different problems is awesome. Simple setup is great because it has a great owner's manual. It's really simple. You literally hook up a booster, which probably takes 10 minutes. And other than that, it really takes no time at all. You're probably maybe 10 minutes in setting up your whole fifth wheel and possibly truck with all your transmitters. It's really just a push of a button, screw on your transmitter, and immediately it's going to have everything onto your screen. Replaceable batteries. All of our transmitters come with replaceable batteries. There's a little black cap on them that you just take off, and you can replace the batteries without having to send them in. Great customer service. Not only has Tire Minder going on 8 years in a row of the best customer service and product through Trailer Life magazine and Motorhome Life magazine, you'll also get me and my wife as Outdoor Adventure Products as your customer support as well. Tire Minder's open on the East Coast only till 5 o'clock. If you purchase from me, you have my business card and you can call me at any time if there's a problem. If you're having a problem, you purchased a product from me, I want to be able to help you at any time. So if you pulled in at 10 o'clock at night and we're having problems somewhere, you probably would think, oh, I'm not going to call him. I would be okay if you called me if you had a problem that we needed to get taken care of. So customer service is Tire Minder's and Outdoor Adventure Products' #1 goal besides giving excellent products. Here's our different pressure alerts. If your PSI drops below 15% of the baseline pressure, which is the pressure that you started at, you're going to get that notification. If your tire pressure goes above 20% of that baseline pressure you had, you're also going to get a notification. If you lose 3 PSI or more in 2 minutes or less, so if you're driving down the road You pick up a nail, obviously it's not going to just let all your air out at once. So as you're continually driving, tires are heating up, that nail is going to obviously let a little bit of air leak out. So a couple PSI leak out in 2 minutes or less, or if you get a multiple PSI of 6 that leaks out in 10 minutes or less, you're going to get that notification. So as you're driving down the road, this thing's definitely doing its job, making sure that there's no holes or leaks, as well as you're going to get the temperature alert. So if you get above 167 degrees Fahrenheit, your alarm's going to go off. That's going to give you enough time. That's not telling you, hey, your tire's hot enough right now that it's going to explode. 200 is going to be your max temperature that this is going to go off. So at 167, the alarm's going to go off, but after a couple seconds, it's going to shut off so you don't have to hear it as you're trying to pull off to the side of the road. Once you get off to the side of the road, look at each tire. It's going to show you which tire it is. So it'll show you on your monitor or on your cell phone which tire you need to take a look at. If the temperature gets above 200 degrees Fahrenheit, the alarm will not shut off until it gets below that. So that is telling you, hey, something bad is definitely going to happen seconds from now or now. Simple installation. Like I was saying, all of our systems come with a booster. So basically you're going to hook that booster up underneath. If you have a fifth wheel, you're just going to put it right up underneath your storage compartment in front where your generator would be. Run the wires right up underneath, hook it to your positive and negative on a battery, and have the little antennas so that they face backwards. Again, in replaceable batteries, it's a 1632 battery, and it is just as simple as taking the cap off and sliding the battery in. There's some systems that have bigger transmitters, and you actually have to send them in and have the batteries changed, or you actually just have to buy brand new transmitters because the batteries are all encased in there. We're not going to do that. TireMinder also does a free battery replacement as well as O-rings. We give away free batteries once a year. So you sign up when you fill out your warranty card. When your year's up, you go put new batteries in. You're going to come see me at a show. I'm just going to give you free batteries and O-rings for as many transmitters as you have. If you're not going to see us at a show, you can call TireMinder and they'll send you for $5. They'll send you as many transmitters and O-rings as you have. It's just the shipping. Like I said, customer support through TireMinder. I can't tell you enough how awesome they are. It doesn't matter who answers the phone, from the CFO to the owner to the guy that actually helps develop the app and the products. Whoever answers the phone is going to do everything they possibly can to make sure that you're taken care of. Again, going on 9 years in a row of the best award-winning product and customer service. This product right here is the product that I use myself. It's the Smart TPMS. This one runs off of your cell phone. Comes in a box just like this. Nice packaging, very well put together. Comes with from 4 transmitters up to 22, just depends on how many you're going to use. This one's a Bluetooth system, so it runs off of a 233 megahertz signal, and then it goes to your Bluetooth adapter, which is the little black thing that looks like the cell phone on the left side of it. That thing in turn turns to low energy Bluetooth and sends it to your cell phone. It doesn't matter if you have cell phone service. It doesn't matter if you have Wi-Fi or anything, because it's running on Bluetooth. You don't have to have any type of service to make it work. Just 2 different products that have the capabilities of talking to each other over Bluetooth. You can still run, like I have my GMC IntelliLink, so I still have my truck hooked to my phone, as well as I can still run 12 smaller units like this with the low energy Bluetooth. So I can still have anything else going, as well as my low energy Bluetooth with my smart system. This system will run up to 232 PSI on each transmitter. Each transmitter is a half of an ounce is all. So you don't have to rebalance any of your tires. It works off of an iPhone, it works off of an iPad, it works off of an Android phone, or it works off of an Android tablet, as long as they have the capabilities. Most of the phones and everything out there that are smart based now are either going to have the Android or the iOS system. So most phones are going to be compatible with this system. For some reason, if you're out fishing or camping and you lose your phone or throw it away because you got mad because you couldn't reel in that fish or whatever happened, Your wife, significant other, partner, whoever else, if they have this app downloaded, all of your information is going to be stored on the Bluetooth adapter. So whoever is with you that's traveling, you can just download that app, pull your system up, and anybody can use it to your system. It's just whoever has it pulled up first is going to be the one who gets to see it. This one right here is one of our newest units. It's the i10. This system, unlike most of the other tire pressure monitoring systems out there on the market now, this one you're going to be able to see up to 10 tires all at the same time. Most of the other systems out there, including our cell phone one right now, you're only seeing 1 tire at a time. This one you get to see up to 10 tires at a time. If you're going to do the truck and the trailer, right here it says front and rear. You can have the front and it'll show you, say you had the dually like Jeret has, it would show you the front 2 tires, the dually tires, and then 5 seconds later, it would show you the tires, whether it was a single, double, or triple axle on the next screen. So you could watch all 6 tires on the front screen, and then every 5 seconds, it's just gonna change over and show you the trailer, or you can just have the trailer on there if you already have a system on your truck or don't want it. There's a center button at the very top. You touch that center button and it turns the PSI to temperature. And that way you'll be able to sit and look at all of the temperatures of each tire. If your pressures start going up on one tire and you don't exactly know what it is, you can look over and see the temperature. If that one tire, the temperature is rising, you could be having a bearing malfunction, a brake could be sticking, or something could be going on with one of those rotors. The i10, it will run up to 20 tires at 199 PSI, and it'll also monitor up to 4 vehicles. So you'll be looking at only 2 of them at a time, but it'll be able to do up to 4 vehicles. This one right here is called the A1AS. This one's like the big daddy. We've had multiple people that are saying, well, how come you can't have it on a monitor and your cell phone? Well, the way Tire Minder is they take what people say into consideration and into heart, and they make it happen. So we've had enough people say, hey, we want to monitor and we want to be able to use it on our cell phone. So this one right here, you can do that. This one monitors on the screen, 5.5-inch screen, as well as you can put it on your cell phone or tablet. This one right here, you're going to be able to watch up to 12 tires at a time, or excuse me, 22 tires at a time. It'll show you every one of them. It shows right here, it would show motorhome with a tag axle and a tow vehicle. So right there, we've got 12 tires. It'll show up to 22. This one's not gonna have to show you the front and then the rear. This one will show them all at the same time. Again, same thing. There's the bottom 3 buttons. You hit that center button and it's gonna turn your PSI to temperature. And at that point, you'll be able to watch all, however many tires you have on that one all at the same time. I would love to have that one just because it's big and awesome and cool, and I'm a guy, and that's just kind of how we work. My wife would probably take away my driver's license if she had to see that thing sitting in the dash, because it really is good size. This is the box that it comes in. All of our packaging is awesome and well put together. It is a great big monitor. It's easy to see, but sometimes my wife works from the back seat, and if I already had the GPS unit on the dashboard, if I have something else, then that's all she gets to look at, because she sits in the middle because she can't see out. So I use the smart TPMS. That way I don't have to have anything else on my dash. The i10, the smaller one, it is just a 3.25-inch screen, much smaller. It is small enough that you could literally just, some people have Velcroed it right on their dash. It does come with a window unit that sits and swivels and moves if you want to put it in a different location. And it would be small enough to sit on your dash that my beautiful wife probably wouldn't kill me if that was the one that I used. We set again, Tire Minder wants to make it so that everybody has the system. If you have a small single axle trailer or a double axle trailer that's 25 feet and smaller and has PSI under 70, they make this smaller unit called the TRL4. It comes in a 4 kit or a 2 kit. Again, you'll be able to see all your PSIs and temperatures on this one, but it's not adaptable. You can't add more transmitters to it. You can't have extra vehicles. So it's literally just 2 or 4 tires. These transmitters are a little bit smaller, so they're not going to be even a 1/2 of an ounce. They're probably, you know, just, I can't say exactly, but they're a little bit under a half of an ounce. So these ones would work perfect for a single axle trailer or a double axle trailer, anything under 25 feet and 70 PSI and smaller. And again, this system, just like every other system of tire minders, except for the one for the cycles, all of our systems come with the signal booster. You don't have to buy it later. You don't have to buy your system and then get it home and figure out that you need to purchase something later. Anything you're going to need from a TPMS system is going to be in your box. You're going to have 2 years worth of batteries. So you'll have the batteries that you're going to start off with and the O-rings that are already on the transmitters, as well as you're already going to have another set for next year in your package. So you're set to go for next year. Once you put those ones in, you give us a call or come see us at a show and we get those other ones so that we can replace it for you. This is our cycle TPMS. This one it just runs off of Bluetooth. So the Bluetooth capabilities are actually in the transmitters themselves. These don't run off of a radio frequency. They're all running off of Bluetooth. This is the system that does not have a booster because literally it's going to be on a motorcycle, a car, a truck. I actually have it on my side-by-side. So you're going to be sitting right on top of it. So you're not going to need the signal strength to boost it because it's only going to be for something in that small of a part. So right here, it's showing it's just for the motorcycle. If you look down in the bottom of the phone, there's a plus sign. You can hit that plus sign and you can make it go to 3. So you could ride it on a trike, or you can make it go to 4 and you can have it on a car, truck, even a smaller trailer if you wanted, but it'd have to be really small because I couldn't guarantee the signal length from it going to a trailer. That would be the tire minder half of my presentation. Again, if you had any questions for Tire Minder, you can get a hold of them at Minder Research, or Outdoor Adventure Products is my wife and I. And so the next thing I want to show is, like Jeret was saying, we also sell via air portable air compressors. These things are amazing. It doesn't matter how many shows I go to. There's constantly people coming up telling me how much they love their via air compressor. It does what it needs to. That picture that I showed you when I was on the side of the road in Illinois, I actually owned a Harbor Freight one because, of course, again, I'm a guy and it was cheap and that's what I bought. So needless to say, it didn't work past that day because it blew up that same day that my tire did because it wouldn't fill up my tire. So I ended up buying a via air and it's worked so well and I love it so much that that's also another product line that we carry. Multiple lines, they show you right down here. They show you that you can use it for multiple different applications. We have it from the 450, which is certified so that you can run it off of a Class A. You can use it for anything. The 450 is going to be 100% duty cycle. So once it gets to 100 PSI, you can still run it for an hour without it having to cool off. The 400 and the 450 both have 60 feet of hose. And those would be the two that I would recommend if you were to have, like Jeret and I's fifth wheel. Those two are the only two that are going to have the 60 feet of hose. The 300 underneath, it's going to have a shorter hose. So this would be the 450 with the 100% duty cycle, runs at 150 PSI. It comes with everything you see here. It's got 60 feet of hose. It has the tire pressure gun that you can hook the dually attachment to, or it has a 48-inch rubber hose that you can hook onto that as well. And you can screw that on the valve stem and stand up and fill your tire instead of having to be hunched over to fill up your tire. I have a horrible back, so that was probably the best thing that ever came in there besides the 60 feet of hose. The 400 PRVS, that is the one that Jeret has. That's also the one that I run with my fifth wheel. I don't need anything else. If you were to have a fifth wheel and a toy hauler and you had sand toys, or you were to be playing in the sand a lot where you were letting the air out of your tires and you wanted to fill them up a lot, I would probably go to the 450 because that would give you more time to pump up tires, where the 400 just runs at a 30% duty cycle. So once you get to the 100 PSI, you're basically being able to run for about 30 minutes. The 300 is what they call for fifth wheels. The only thing that there's a couple things that I wouldn't want to have the 300 for on a RV. I actually own the 300, but it's for my truck, and it's what I used to take in my side-by-side before I bought a smaller one. The 300 only has a 25-foot hose. It also doesn't come with the gun that has the dually attachment and everything. So this one doesn't have the automatic shutoff valve as well. So if you're filling up the tire, you have to turn the button on and off if you want to read what the gauge says. From using this, I also know that as you're pumping it up, if it's reading 55 on the gauge as it's pumping it up, that probably means that you have 50 PSI in there. It's basically got 5 PSI more than the tire, more than is in the tire. So if you're filling it up, the gauge reads 50. It's going to mean that you have 45 PSI in there, and it still has to have 5 PSI more, or it won't be able to actually push the air into the tire. So this one would work if you wanted to have to pull to the side of the trailer with your truck and plug it in. All of those 3 systems are going to want a 13.1 amp draw. So you're going to basically want your truck running when you use it, or if you've got it hooked to your trailer, you'll probably want to be hooked into shore power. The 89 PRVS, this is actually the one now that I use in my side-by-side, much smaller. All of them come with their own carrying case. This one has a 25-foot hose as well, but this one would be, again, for your way smaller trailers, 30% duty cycle, 120 PSI. I would use this more likely for a really small trailer or a car or a light duty truck. And that's what I have to say about the products. And now I'm going to try and figure out how to get back to the screen so that I can take any questions or any comments or anything else that I can get from anybody. If you have any questions or concerns or whatever you may have, I've got my technical wife who doesn't want to be on the camera helping me out. Hi, wife.
Yeah, hi, wife.
I'm the IT woman.
And that's as I mentioned earlier, I can attest to the that 400 series. I like it so much. I actually look at the pictures that are in the event for the rally. I actually hard mounted it in my toolbox, and that 60 foot of hose is great because now no matter where I have my truck parked, I don't have to try and play with how to get closest to my tires. I can all that area and lights down, and it's easy.
Yeah,
Are the 400, are the 400 and 450, are they AC or DC?
It all plugs in 12-volt power. So it's going to have alligator clips on all of our systems. Will have alligator clips to plug onto a battery.
Would it be enough amperage to plug it into the cigarette lighter thing?
No, you would have to have, it would not, you would never want to plug this into a cigarette lighter.
Right. Most of them don't. Okay.
Do I have any other questions from anybody? I see a lot of mutes.
I had a question.
Okay.
You there? Okay. I guess I got here late. I thought you were going to be at 4 o'clock our time, so I guess I missed a lot of it. So this has probably been answered. But I talked to somebody the other day that has your system, and he said that he called it a repeater. I don't know if that's the right word, but said it was hard. The distance of his camper was, it helped it, connecting to the truck, or you know what I'm talking about.
Correct.
Do you need that with all of them, or?
All of our systems are going to come with the repeater.
Okay.
They'll all have a booster in the package.
Okay. Because without it, what is the distance from the tires to the truck? What will they normally pick up?
It sometimes varies because there's some people out there, honestly, that have said, I've never hooked up my booster. And there's other people out there that, their system just goes haywire without it. So they don't want to take a chance. So it's in there regardless. So I would just use it.
Oh, okay. Yep, it's in there. Yeah. Okay. And how many, is there just one unit? I hate to repeat these questions. Like I say, you're probably over it. Is there just one model number? Is there different ones, or?
So I have multiple different models.
Oh, okay.
We have a big one, and this one you can have on a 5.5-inch screen as well as your cell phone. That one's called the A1AS. And then I have the i10, which is a smaller 3.5-inch screen.
So they all got their own screen. Oh yeah, they have to. Yeah.
Yep, and this one's got a 3.5-inch screen. And then I have the smart-based model, and this one runs to a cell phone or a tablet.
Oh, okay.
And Jeret put out my flyer that has my website and everything else on there. You can contact me with my phone number or anything, and I can have this same conversation with any of you again.
Okay.
I can answer any questions. You can get on my website at outdooradventureproducts.com, and you can look at all of our products on there as well.
Okay, thank you.
And on the flyer that we have that we've sent out, there's a 10% discount code that is GD 2020. Put that into the coupon code, and that'll take an extra 10% off of your cart.
Hey, Tony, you got a question in the chat box asking if there's any thought on a hardwire compressor that they're going to offer.
Well, I mean, same thing, I guess. I didn't get that chat part, but like you did, Jeret, you've hardwired your air compressor. So that's basically the same thing that they would want to do. Yeah, I do it. That's how I do it at my shows. I cut it and I have it hardwired right to my 12 volt inverter. So you could definitely hardwire it. Jaret's got some cool little clips that if you look at the picture, he's got a great clip system that he's got them clipped. So if he, for some reason, needed to take it apart, he could unclip his power and do whatever he needed to do with the air compressor.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've got 12 volts that ran to my bed because a while ago I had a different toolbox in with a winch. And
Sure.
so I ran 12 volts in my bed with a clip and had it bolted. So now I can just unclip things and clip in whatever I want for multiple applications.
Right, that's awesome.
How long is the power cord on the compressor? If I wanted to hook them to my trailer batteries.
So it's going to be about 10 feet.
Okay. And then 25 or 30 feet of hose, I think, on the 300.
Yeah, the 300 has a 25-foot hose.
Okay. And how long would it run off a pair of golf cart batteries? You know, if the trailer weren't hooked up to shore power.
You're at a 30% duty cycle. So if you're just topping off your tire, if you're just topping off 4 tires, you're going to be just fine with the 300. If you're just using it to top off, you know, if you're not going from 0 to 80 4 times, you know what I mean? If you're just going from 75 to 80, you know, 78 to 80, if you're just topping your stuff off, you'll be fine.
Okay. You know, I've seen some cordless tire inflators. Do you offer anything like that, or?
I don't, because the stuff that I'm offering, I want to make sure is going to work when you're out there. And I've never used any of the cordless ones, not saying that they can't or won't work, but I know if we're out there driving and we have a truck or our fifth wheel, we're always going to have batteries. I'm not going to have to worry about the rechargeable battery going dead and it not being there. I'm going to have my compressor to be able to fill me up wherever I'm at on the side of the road, or if in the mountains, or if something happens to me. So BioAir does not make a cordless one. And I'm not saying that they're bad. I just have never used them.
Okay. And how well do they work at low pressure things like air mattresses?
I actually took my 300 and put it on my boat and blew up a couple floaties. I don't necessarily recommend it.
Okay.
Just being honest.
Whoever just asked a question about the cordless one, we have a cordless one from Home Depot. It suffices just to top things off, but there's no way you can blow up a tire with it. We use it for bicycle tires and things of that nature. And I do use it if I just want to quickly top something off, rather than hooking up a compressor
Right.
that I have. But you know, it's not the best system. And like you were saying earlier, if it's reading 80, you probably only have 77 or 78 pounds. You got to go past the 80 to get up to 80.
Yep. But I can tell you, for the air mattresses and stuff like that, and for different applications, I actually have the Makita blower. And that thing not only helps blow out the back of my trailer, my carpet around the RV, but I can also take it in the boat, and that thing will pump up air mattresses and boating stuff faster than any air compressor ever out there. I know Makita makes one. DeWalt probably has one. It's just a nice, good sized hand blower that has a blow nozzle on it. And that's what I personally use to do our boating stuff. Sorry, I'm not good at this. There are
What was the discount
comments
code?
on the chat.
I'll put that
Comments
in.
on the code are GD 2020. Thank you, Jeret.
You did, right?
I am so not a technical person. So thank you, Amy.
I guess that's a good word. How sensitive? So, okay, I got the tarp, I got everything on it. I'm running 80 pounds PSI. At what point will it tell me that I'm losing air? You know what I'm saying? How sensitive? At
Sure.
79, 75? What?
So if you lose 2 PSI in 3 minutes or less, you're going to get a notification.
Oh, okay.
If you lose 6 PSI between 2 and 10 minutes, you're going to get a notification. If you get an immediate puncture that you lose immediate pressure, you're going to get a notification. If you lose 15% of the baseline pressure, or if it gains 20%, you'll get a notification as well. And then if you get above 167 degrees Fahrenheit, you'll also get an alarm.
Yeah, you should hear the tire blow. That'd be a good alarm.
You'll hear the tire blow up because your alarm will start beeping immediately. Okay, one more question on the chat.
Yep. Are settings pressure and temp presets, or do we set it?
So what'll happen is when you're installing it, you will have your monitor, you'll have it in the learn mode, you're gonna screw the transmitter on, and immediately your PSI is gonna come right onto the screen, no matter what it is. You're gonna go through and set all your tires that same way. Go to that tire on the monitor. So if we were doing the cell phone, we would pull it up and we would make it so that one tire was blinking. We would go to that tire, we would screw it on. Immediately it's gonna come up here and it's gonna give us our PSI and temperature. Same thing on all the other ones. Just go through and get all of them done. And then there's one other button, and all you do is change your baseline. And what you want your baseline pressure to be is not what the tire says or not what your trailer says it's supposed to be, but what the tire is actually reading at your cold point when you're starting that day. So if you're cold point and you're starting that day, I have 100 PSI in my tire, say I have 101 PSI in one tire, I want that tire to read 101 PSI. For that simple reason is that we're telling that monitor that this is where we're starting. If we lose pressure or gain pressure from this number, we need to know. So if I was to have 101 PSI in there when I started the day, but say that my baseline was at 97, I would already be showing that I was over a little bit on my PSI. So my alarm is not going to come when it's supposed to. It's going to come a little bit earlier, which is not necessarily what we want to happen. We need it to happen when it's supposed to happen. You know, if we're driving like now when it's hot, whether you're in North Las Vegas or Mesquite, it's going to be different between here and then you get to the middle of Utah and you've lost 40 degrees. You know, your starting PSI today in Mesquite is going to be different than your starting PSI in Salt Lake because of your temperatures. So having the monitor, you know that every day if you have to go out and let out some PSI because you've brought heat with you from Mesquite, and it's still in your tires in Salt Lake, so it's still built that air pressure. So if you wanted to start out and you started out at 101 in Mesquite, you might be 105 or 106 for some reason in Salt Lake. So you would see that on your monitor and you could go and let the air out of your tires and get it back down to where it needed to be.
Okay. So is that a one time? You got to set that every day?
I usually don't change it. It's all going to just depend on if you're in a place that needs it often. You really aren't going to have to do it very often. Our setting pressures, that is one time set. Okay. Yeah, no, you can, yeah, so you can do it one time. Like I said, if you're going from drastic measures, that's when you would want to do it. But like I said, I've never had to change it multiple days. It's all just in, again, knowing what your tires are and knowing what they're doing and knowing where you're at. Just making sure you're okay. And again, like I said, if you were at 106 in Salt Lake and you wanted it back to 101, you wouldn't have to change anything on your monitor. All you would do is go out and let a little bit of air out of your tires and bring it back to that PSI.
But according to the instructions on Tire Minder, you set it when it's cool or one time, even, and even their instructions say if you're in Phoenix at 110, that's the setting you set it at.
Right,
And
right.
you
But
don't
that's
touch the tires again.
sure. And like I said, it doesn't have to happen, but
You
if you're in,
you don't adjust the tire pressure again.
yeah, you don't have to adjust your tire pressure, because what you're going to do is you're going to keep your baselines always the same,
Right.
unless you start putting more weight in. Say, for instance, Jaret's went and bought 3 more Segways. His tire and everything's going to be heavier in the back, which is going to put more pressure on it. So at that point, you would go through, you still wouldn't need to change your baseline, but you would change the pressure. You're going to probably want your baselines to stay the same unless you get new tires that are allowing more PSI than the previous tires. Then at that point, you would change your baseline.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't have to mess with the baseline. But
No, I guess I wasn't made myself clear. They were talking about you don't change the tire pressure. You just, wherever you are, that's where you set it. The tire pressure. No, I'm not talking about the gauge, because I've got the Tire Minder and I really like them. So if you're in Phoenix at 110 and then you go up to Flagstaff and it's 75 degrees,
right,
you don't change the tire pressure based on 75 degrees.
Right, because again, from Flagstaff, you're going to drop down again and be somewhere else. So yes, if you're just normal driving, you're not going to have to worry about it. I'm saying if you were to leave Mesquite or Tucson or Arizona or somewhere and then go somewhere colder for a period of time, your PSI will probably have stayed higher just because the air that you took with you with the heat that was in there.
Sure.
But yes, you definitely don't have to change it at that point. Yes, if you're just driving, you just keep driving because your parameters will have enough leeway in there that you'll be just fine.
Right.
Thank you.
What's the major difference in the I-10 and the AIAS? Two different units.
The I-10 is going to be a 3.5-inch monitor.
Oh, the monitor. Is that the main difference, the size of the monitor?
Yeah, so the I-10 is a 3.5-inch screen, and the A1AS is a 5.5-inch screen. And the A1AS is going to be almost double the price because you can also use the A1AS on a cell phone or a tablet. But yeah, it's a much larger screen.
That's the same function. It does basically.
All the systems are all going to have the same function. So they'll all give you the same parameters on alarms. So this is the A1AS, and this is this is the I-10.
Oh, okay.
So my wife trying to look through this at the back seat is not going to happen, where this one I might be able to get it down a little bit farther and be okay with it. And then both of them, the I-10 and the A1AS, they both come with holders, so you can hook it to your dash or a window or something else.
Okay. So for all practical purposes, the I-10 does a job.
Right, and the I-10 is has the best bang for the buck for sure.
Okay. Now I was just thinking, Tom, I get my GPS on the dash, my cam recorder, all this stuff, my tire minder, my dash gonna be full up, get too big one.
Right, so at that point, that's why we have the one that goes to your cell phone, because then you don't have to have anything else on your dashboard.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you just got the monitors and, like you say, to an app on your phone then.
Correct. So you'll have a Bluetooth adapter, and then this is what it'll come up looking like on your cell phone. And you don't have to watch it all the time. You can have it sitting, just being a phone. And if something goes on, your Bluetooth adapter will start beeping at you, and then immediately you'll get a text notification to your cell phone. So you don't even have to have something else on the dash at that point.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That's the system that we use. Yes, tires with metal stems are just fine. So we have two different systems. We have brass transmitters and we have aluminum transmitters. The only time that you're going to need the aluminum transmitters is if you have a car, say it's basically for tow vehicles. So if you had a motorhome and you had a tow vehicle that had the tire pressure monitoring system on it already with metal valve stems, then we would use aluminum transmitters. It's just for the corrosion factor. Any other transmitter out there, all of your ones that are going to be on your trailers are all going to be brass. Big motorhomes, all their metal valve stems, they're just brass. So the only time we use the aluminum valve stems is when you already have a TPMS unit on a car and it has metal valve stems. And I didn't say it at first, but I really want to thank all of our veterans that are out there and first responders. That's usually the first thing that we do. And Jeret, I want to thank you as well for letting my wife and I do this and come to your rallies and be a part of the Grand Design family, even though we're like the redheaded stepchild in the Road Warrior.
We'll convert you.
Right, like I said, there will be a point in time when I got to have a new one. These right here are the size of the transmitters, nice and small. Just unscrews, like we were showing, and the battery just sits right inside there. 1632 battery. You can get them anywhere, or like I said, you can get them free from Firewire once a year. Work from us if you come see us at a show. If this stupid virus had stopped happening, we'd love to come see you all face to face. Because I do have to say, you do put on a great rally. It is nice that everybody's part of it. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how young you are. It doesn't matter if you drink or if you don't drink. It was nice to have everybody as a tight niche community where there wasn't really a bunch of niches. It was a really cool rally in Vegas, and we totally enjoyed it.
In our last rally.
Yeah, and our last rally.
Yeah, we'll try to get out more often.
Yep.
Which reminds me, we did get everything set for Southern California. I need to get you that information so we can get you down to that rally.
When is that one shooting for?
Second weekend in April next year.
Perfect. Is there any other questions or comments that I can help anybody out with? And if anybody wants to write it down, my phone number is 801-509-4257. And again, my name is Tony Peterson. And I'll be happy to answer any questions on the phone as well. Thank you, Jeret.
All right. Well, thank you for coming out, Tony, and enjoying the first virtual rally with us. We'll have to get you out for another one. Have some more fun.
We totally appreciate it. And like we said, use the coupon code. Call us if you need us. If you just want to email, we're at tony@outdooradventureproducts.com. And I'll be putting out a couple more little advertisements on the Facebook posts as we go. And I look forward to speaking to a few of you later. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm going to turn the hosting back over to me, and then I'll end.
I'll let her do that.
For it.
Just a second.
For those that want any of the other information, like Ray, we record all of our seminars, and once the entire rally is over, I'm going to put a post out on the event for the virtual rally that will have a link to every single one of these seminars. So the stuff that you didn't get to see, you'll be able to see it when everything's over.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I printed out your schedule. I don't know if you can see it, but it's so small, I don't have a magnifying glass that big enough to read it. It's about an inch square.
Can I give you some advice? I know I'm not as old, but I've really found out that the cell phone camera is the best magnifying glass out there.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
that,
You
That's
take a
true.
picture of you take a picture of something, and then you can zoom in as
Open
big
it
as
up.
you want.
You're right, you're right.
I thought of that when I saw that. Oh, that's true.
Hey, Jared, did we get it back to you yet?
Nope. If you put over my picture, you'll see 3 little dots. And click on that, and then go down to where it says make host.
I lost your picture. Oh, there we go.
A lot
Hey,
of
there's still a couple of questions. Hold on one second, Jared.
my research. We get online and look up
Oh,
these
that's
places.
on us.
It's
Okay.
really.
That was for you.
Okay.
What are you supposed to do?
So by
Hover
Jared,
over his screen.
Jared's picture, hit the
Yep.
3
It
buttons.
We
makes,
could probably even go up and pick it up.
Make host.
Make host.
Yes.
it's a nice thing. Just right up the street or down the street.
Okay, is he good?